Right, so welcome to this special broadcast. I suppose this is kind of the days before the actual days itself, 2 days to conference itself, but lots of activity starting to happen as the final touches get put on the organizational point of putting this conference together. And we're starting now to speak to our commentators that you've been seeing throughout the year. As we get into the eve of this conference, what are the big issues? What are the matters that are weighing on delegates' minds? And to unpack that, I've got Dr. Piet Kroukamp and Professor Sipho Siebe. Let me start with you, Dr. Kroukamp. So I'm a delegate. I'm driving now from, KwaNdebele, and I'm busy driving to Nasrec. And, you know, people are billing this as perhaps the most contested. We say that every conference. What's going through a delegate's mind now? He's got huge responsibility of the people that he's left behind, but he's also thinking about his organization and the future.
Yeah, I think the question you ask is, will he execute the mandate that they arrived with, that his particular area gave him to execute? In other words, will he vote for the person that they have suggested to be the preferred candidate? And I think you must just remember, this debate is coming a long time. The camps are divided along very specific lines. People have very strong views about where the ANC is and where the ANC should be going, strong views about who should be the leadership. So I don't think that there will be a lot of change of mind at the day of the voting. But I do think it does play a role in terms of, you must remember, with each and every presidency in the past, a lot of people have lost their jobs. The last election, the local government election, it's assumed that around about 800 people lost their jobs because of the outcome of the election. And certainly this will have consequences. The outcome of this election will have consequences for each and every delegate. And that will weigh on his mind. Will I have a job? Will I have an opportunity hereafter? Where will I be within the ANC hereafter? So I think, yes, the responsibility on the delegate is enormous.
Professor Siebe, what's different for the delegate this time compared to previous conferences?
Well, we've had campaigning and in a sense people have already taken positions. So when they come here, they have dealt with issues. So there is less possibility of influence. But I've also seen the conferences, once you go on there and people discover each other, that they're comrades, and the horse trading that takes place, you might have a slight shift, but it will not be major, because the delegates and the positions and also the way we have categorized and the individuals, especially at the level of presidency, you can actually say the positions are cemented. But some branches have actually said that go there, allow yourself to take our mandate, but think about the organization, think about the possibility of influencing your own colleagues. So the issue really here ultimately boils down to who is best capable of taking the idea of radical economic transformation. Remember, this is simply a slogan, but that slogan carries a certain meaning that we had failed our masses, and we need something more radical. So a person who seems to talk that language might be seen. And if you look at the two candidates, they have now moved towards adopting the same language sound bites. But there's a history. The question is, who can you believe on the basis of that history? So that's the first thing. But I do think that, as my colleague indicates, that the positions are already cemented. But what other people are also thinking about is also the issue of self-interest. Remember, the whole notion of unity and the language of saying the winner must not take it all is what is also central to the ANC, because they know that if you have winner takes all, this is what has destroyed the ANC. And even the president has actually told them that probably based on his experience, that the winner takes it all from 2007 has led to a stage where some members of the ANC moved out. So he says, you guys must remember that you will be the ANC today and also after, and you'll need each other.
All right, so we're going to explore winner takes all and lessons learned from Polokwane Mangaung perhaps in a short while. But in the meantime, let's go back to studio. I know Leanne is also in conversation with somebody else.